It's story time!
I'm the king of the world. Everything I see belongs to me. And I could have it all if not for love. And by love I mean the fact that I'm still alive. Somebody's drinking milk, and I want to be the cat that gets that milk. Oh, another fortune, it exists to cease. I just want a printed milk company. Tonight protein is my name. I want tuna for dinner, tuna for dinner. Coming this Friday, dreams about tuna for dinner, tuna for dinner. 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 I want tuna for dinner. Dreams about tuna for dinner. Tuna for dinner. Tuna for dinner. Tuna for dinner.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. I want to take a moment and just recognize two great people that's in the chat, Dove and Tim. This is for you.
Tim and Doug, a team so strong, keeping the chat where it belongs. The paddle in hand, they rule the game. Misbehave once, you'll know their name. They're quick on the draw, no time to delay. When the trolls come out, they know how to play. They're tag team champs with hearts of gold. Across the line, and you'll be told. Ping pong, the time has begun. Tim and Dove are having their fun. A bounce here, a bounce there, you're out once more. They keep the peace and settle the score. Dove's got style with a wink and a grin. Tim's got patience, but don't push him. Together they laugh, they take it in stride. But they're the low on this YouTube ride. They set the tone, they hold the line. The chat runs smooth, it's all just fine. But if you spam or cause a scene, you'll face the ping pong machine. Ping pong, the time has begun. Tim and Dove are having their fun. A bounce here, a bounce there, you're out once more. They keep the peace and settle the score. So treat them well, respect the space. Tim and Dove keep it a fun, safe place. They're the dream team, the ultimate pair. With paddles of justice, they're always there. They're quick on the draw, no time to delay. When the trolls come out, they know how to play. They're tag team champs with hearts of gold. But cross the line, and you'll be told. Ping pong, the time has begun. Tim and Dove are having their fun. A Bounce here or bounce there, you're out once more. They keep the peace and settle the score. Tim and Doug, the mods we adore, guarding the chat forevermore. Play nice, stay cool, or face the wrath of this ping pong duo on their epic path.
Thank you, thank you. I want to give those guys a little special thank you. And that being said, it's time to play the opening credits and introduce the panel.
Gather around, come take a seat. If there's a tale that's so sweet, magic words and dreams take flight. We're gonna have some fun tonight. Talk will entertain you with stories old and stories new. Adventures waiting, just unwind. It's story time.
And it's time to introduce our panel. We have a great group of guests today. We have first up David. How's it going,
Hello.
David?
It's going well. How are you?
I am doing well. I am doing awesome. Uh, I just am excited about this show. I am excited about everything we're doing today. I think we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a fun time. And but what really makes this show so cool is today we're international.
Mm-hmm.
And not only are we international, we're time traveling because it's already tomorrow for this individual. And that is the other David, or Frogger Watch. How's it going?
Good day, mate. Yeah, Nathan. Oh, sorry.
Frogger Watch, you there? Okay.
You losing?
Okay. He may have stepped away, so when he pops in, we'll just holler at him.
Sorry,
Uh,
Doc. I had the mic on mute.
Ah.
Ah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. Give me a break. It is 2:38 this morning, today, not yesterday, like it
Uh-huh.
is for you. So the brain's not quite functioning yet because it's only just sort of got out of the sleep mode.
Well, I do acknowledge it's already tomorrow over there. Carmen's
No,
helper is in
today.
the house.
It's today, not tomorrow.
You
Because
know,
tomorrow would be.
So we're in yesterday.
I'm sorry.
so-
Go on.
yeah. Anyways, it's exciting to be here. It's a great day. It's going to be a fun show. I think and an educational show. And we do have another individual that's on panel, but right now she's taking care of something. She will be back shortly. And as soon as she gets back, she says she's here. So let me throw her on this. We have Nerd Girl Jen's World in the house.
Hi, everybody. Super excited to be here. This is my very first panel, and I couldn't think of a greater group of guys to do this with for the very first time, at least on YouTube anyway. So great to be here, Doc.
Thank you. And by the way, that check's in the mail for you for saying such nice things about us. So, and I want to just before we really get that topic at hand, I just want to say something that I'm and Nerd Girl. I know you probably spend a lot of time with these tools, but
I do.
I'm working with AI a lot more to help me produce what I'm doing
Mhm.
with YouTube. The pictures that was on my thumbnail, all those pictures were AI created. I think those pictures summed up what the show is about very nicely in a very comical way in a little bit, but at the same time, if you look at it and understand what we were talking about, you would say, "Oh yeah, there's the cowboy with a white hat doing he's doing white hat hacking because he's on the computer. There's that bad guy girl hacker, and there oh hey someone's gone fishing, but all that was AI generated." The song that my new theme song AI created. Copilot helped me write it, and Suno was the one that was the AI tool that I used to put music to the lyrics. The thank you song that I played for Tim and Dove, AI created. Copilot helped me wrote it. Suno uh, put music together. Uh,
Hmm.
so these are really awesome tools that actually adds that flair that I've been looking for my show. And AI is getting to the point that I can see it actually doing a whole lot more with video editing and so much more. And also professionally speaking, I use AI a lot when I'm crafting emails where I have to tell a manager you're a dumb in a way that they don't see what I'm trying to tell them. And nerd girl, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Of course.
So AI tools are great. Fraud Roundup is in the house. Welcome. And I also saw
I brought it
Carlos.
around up. Thank you so
Car-
much for promoting this show on your community tab. I know that I let Frederick Roundup know last night during his premiere that I was coming on panel today, and he was very kind enough to promote it on his community tab for us. So
Fraud
thank you.
Roundup. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, sir. You're by far a very, very good guy. Don't have an opportunity to talk to you a lot, but someday maybe you and I can just do a show together if that sounds good to you. Uh, that being said, and I've been doing some special thank yous to some the mods that some that I saw in action from another channel, and I said, yeah, this person has to be on my mod. And we just did one for Tim and Dove, uh, but now I got one for Karma's Helper, and I know this one's going to probably get some people laughing. So I'm going to let me share that one real quick, and then we'll get into the topic at hand.
In the wild world of YouTube streams where chaos reigns and trolls have schemes, there's a mind who stands fierce and true. Karma's helper, she's coming for you. Mess around, break the rules, act a fool, she'll bring the tools. Karma's waiting, don't you see? And Karma's helper holds the key. Karma's helper holds the key. Karma's helper, she's got the flair. Helping Karma, she's always there. Misbehave, you'll feel the sting. Karma's a bitch, and she's the queen. With a click and a tap, she's on the prowl. No nonsense here, she'll take you down. She's the guardian of the chat's good vibe. Keeping it cool, keeping it alive. Step in line, don't test your fate. Karma's helper won't hesitate. She's the bridge to what you've earned. Karma's lesson you have learned. Karma's helper, she's got the flair. Helping Karma, she's always there. Misbehave, you'll feel the sting. Karma's a bitch, and she's the queen. She's not here to play, she's here to serve. A dose of justice you deserve. Respect the space, don't cross the line, or you'll meet Karma right on time. Karma's helper, she's got the flair. Helping Karma, she's always there. Misbehave, you'll feel the sting. Karma's a bitch, and she's the queen. Karma's helper, she's got the flair. Helping Karma, she's always there. Misbehave, you'll feel the sting. Karma's a bitch, and she's the queen. So here's to the mod who keeps it real. Karma's helper when nerves are still. She's the hero of the streaming scene. Karma's partner, the chat room queen.
Oh, I love that. That was awesome. All right, are we ready to get into topic?
Sure, why not?
Absolutely.
Okay. I think first we gotta understand what hackers really do, because I think there is a misconception of what hackers do. What and because we see it on TV. Oh, they're sitting in some sort of dark, dingy basement somewhere, typing away to break into someone's computer, breaking into the network somewhere just so they can steal some secrets, and they're doing all this without knowing anything about that network. And that's not what hackers do. In fact, hacking itself does not really require a lot of technical knowledge. If but a lot, but what it really requires is good social engineering skills.
Hmm.
Right.
And what do we mean by social engineering skills? Let's say you have to figure out uh, uh, someone's password. And one of the tools that they use in the social engineering world to get passwords and get information about someone is a tool that we call phishing.
Hmm.
And I think we've seen these emails, we've seen these things so many times, so much, and it's a uh, tool that it can be used uh, if done if right, can get a lot of information. And they send it phishing out to so many people. They don't even need a lot of people to respond. They just need just a little bit, and they are successful. Uh, no girl, please throw in some. Yeah,
Now I'm here.
yeah. Just please add your 2 cents worth on this.
Well, yeah, absolutely. You mentioned, that hacking is not all about the bad guy. I know that we may be talking a little bit about the differences between white hat versus black hat, and I know a lot of white hat hackers. If
You might want to
I mean,
explain what black hat and white hat mean.
We will when we get to that point.
yeah,
Yes.
we'll definitely get. Well, yeah, I know we'll talk about that. I mean, even there's some very simple tools out there if somebody like forgets their Wi-Fi password. There's tools that you can use to kind of bring that up, and that can also be used for good purposes. It can also be used for bad purposes too. And Doc, I know you mentioned your use of AI tools. In my day
Hmm.
job, I test those AI tools out all the time.
Right.
And
Oh, yes.
even, yeah, even the my avatar as well, both here and on my channel, are both AI created, and there's tools rolling out right now that will do video creation from AI tools and write full documents out. And it's very, very tricky to know what is actually written out versus what is AI generated. Now, are there tools rolling out for that type of detection? There absolutely is,
Hmm.
but
Yes.
it's getting to the point where it's so good. I mean, there's full episodes of like South Park that were written using AI. Not
Oh,
a joke.
yes.
There was
I laugh because I know what you're talking about. I love South Park.
yeah, there's a full episode of AI where they referenced ChatGPT as writing the script.
Yes. And it's yeah, and yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's go back to just looking at the thumbnail. If you did not know that was AI generated, you would think that those were real pictures.
Hmm.
That I must have found some stock photos somewhere and got those to put on my. But no, they were AI generated, and not all AI uh, generated tools are the same. Some work great for some circumstances, and others don't work as good. You just have to know what you're working with and know what its capabilities are, and maybe have two or three different sets of tools
Hmm.
to get what you're trying to look for and accomplish in the AI realm of things. But
Yeah,
yes, AI is a growing in this industry. It's a combination of exciting, but every time I think of AI, I also think of Skynet. So,
you know what? That's the number one for the customers that I support in my day job. That's the number one concern that they have is
mhm.
security. They think it's Skynet. They think it's coming to take jobs. And that's really not the case. If you know how to use it and use it for good instead of evil purposes, It's meant to help and not to hinder. I mean,
Mm.
I see the comment from King Bluto, and Your Highness, I totally get where you're coming from. That's why I always share these three words: trust, but verify. Sometimes AI can get it right, sometimes AI can get it wrong. And it's always best
Mhm.
to double check the work
Mhm.
before using
Yes, when I write stories that I'm like when my Will CP Cup has been shenanigans stories, I write it
it.
and then I upload the story in a very, very rough draft version to Copilot or Chat GPT. I might actually utilize both and
Mhm.
let the software do the editing for me, and then I reread what it does and fix what I don't like because it can actually change some things that I don't want it to say or want it to do. And I have used Copilot to help me come up with some ideas on well, the Christmas story I wrote.
Uh-huh.
Uh, it took me a little bit, but I created the idea of there's a North Pole intelligence agency whose job is to hunt down to figure out who are evil and nice, evil, good or bad for Santa's list. But it would also make sense that they also protect Santa on his adventures on Christmas Eve. So that was kind of where that story came from.
I thought that was NORAD's job to do that.
NORAD NORAD only covers the North American uh, continent and not Australia.
And all they do is track him anyway.
Yeah, they're just tracking.
So will they? Will
And
they?
you have to realize the North Pole Treaty between the United States and the North Pole basically states that all they can do is track, and they cannot, and they'll only feed information to the MPIA so the elves can rescue Santa if they need to. So, but we'll go. That's for next Christmas.
That's also classified, so you need to be careful.
Yeah, but that being said, we got fishing, and fishing. What's the aim of it? Is to send out a wide cast of net, try to get as many people's eyes on the email, on the Facebook post, on the YouTube post, on whatever posting, and hoping that someone bites. And you don't, and again, you don't need a lot. You just need very little bit, and uh, it is the uh, I don't know.
Profitable.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
profitable. It does not have to be very, very successful. In a sense, hence, few people actually buying compared to the majority of people. And that being said, uh, but then there's times that these guys go after really what we would say big people like CEOs, CFOs, people very high up in within companies. Oh, dove. That is so true.
I
Fishing is
love it.
yeah, fishing is fun, but fishing is bad. Know the difference. Oh, dove. But and that is what we call whaling, because these would
Mhm.
be whales, and this is a different way of attacks. When they're whaling, their goals is to get specific information about that individual, so they can fool that person, thinking that for whatever reason they're legit in business or knowledge of them, or they may be met somewhere, something. And it's not that difficult to find this information uh, out. And hi, Vintage Speed Video and TV. It's good to see you. That being said, uh, uh, so there might be a newspaper article about, or a magazine article about a CEO who owns a boat, and this is boat's name. then later they might find another article about how they had a gala on their yacht.
Yeah.
They start adding that information up and putting it together. They do
Right.
profile a lot.
Now, what happens at these things that when a CEO throws a party at their yacht? Do they know everyone that shows up personally?
Probably not.
Probably not. In most cases, probably not. And even if they did know good many people, there's still people showing up that might be a guest of a friend. And it's easy for someone to say, hey, George, we met at your party on your yacht on such day." They might even throw someone's name in there as being I was with so and so. But the point being is that they start having a conversation to make that person think they know them or they've met at least in real life. Or something, and that's not the only method. Nerd girl, please throw it.
Oh yeah, there's a couple of main examples, and one I like to call like the ultimate form of karma. There was a CEO of a banking company about a year and a half back. He was bragging that he keeps things so locked down. He's got super strong passwords. Nobody can hack him. And it's like, I'm thinking, dude, you are about to walk into it big time. And when you know it, about 30 minutes after he posted that, he immediately went on Facebook saying, please, 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 please don't accept anything from me. I've been hacked. I've been hacked. How can I fix this? I'm like, dude, you
Yeah,
did it to yourself.
Don't
it's one
stop,
of
don't
those.
stop a challenge like that.
Yeah, it's one of those. Oh, really? Well, here, hold my beer.
Yeah, yeah. Hold my root beer, bud. Try this.
Yes. Uh, thing about hackers, if they really want to get in, they're going to get in.
They're going to find a way.
Yes.
And even I can think of something as recent as last year. MGM, the big casinos out in
Uh-huh.
Vegas,
Yes.
had a major security breach. And I found out about this through CNET, which is one of the channels that I particularly watch for all things nerdy. And you mentioned something about phishing. This was, I think, an example of what is known as spear phishing,
Mm,
because it's a focused attack on a person or an organization. And somebody just called their help desk saying, "Oh, I'm trying to log into my system." They found an employee's name on LinkedIn. They found an
right.
employee's name on LinkedIn, called their help desk saying they were that person and asked for a password reset. And bam, they were in.
Yep.
Wow.
Yes.
They were in, and their systems were down. That includes all of their casino games. That include all of their key card systems, especially for guests. They went down for at least 2 or 3 weeks trying to get everything repaired, simply because somebody at help desk probably didn't
Took a
do their due diligence. But I know that that has been since rectified big time, and
lot.
thankfully they're back online.
A lot of companies have a verification system in place now. I know my company recently implemented a verification system, and we have to use it every so often if we know we're getting ready to start helping someone change a password
Hmm.
or give someone access to something. And I work in my company has me work in a hybrid role in the sense that I am the local tech for my area, but
Hmm.
there's not enough work for me to be on the road for 40 hours a week. So I work from home as well, doing national queue, trying to help do level two tech support for people who might be having some computer problems. Sometimes I remote into their systems. Sometimes I just walk them through what they need to do.
Hmm.
So, but it's one thing for me to tell a user, okay, yeah, right click here. Okay, do you see that now? Okay, there, that's taken care of. Now you're good to go. Okay, thank you. to, or I need access to this folder on this server. Okay, let me send
Yeah.
you this verification link before I do anything. And if the help desk did not do that, I have to go do that myself.
Yeah. I mean, several years ago, I worked for a consulting firm here in my home state, and I worked for a financial company. I mean, a well-known financial company, meaning if your net worth isn't 2 million minimum, don't waste their time.
Mm-hmm.
So what would normally happen is if I had to go to somebody's desk and do something, if somebody left their password out in the open, I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. So I
Mm-hmm.
basically would take their sticky note or wherever they put their password, shred it in the nearest shredder, and reset their password for them on their system to something only I would know, and
Right.
then make them call me at my desk and say, hey, if you're going to do this, at least give me a password on something that can easily be deleted or shredded or something. So let's reset your password back and don't do that again. So even us as IT professionals, we have to keep track of everybody else's
Mm-hmm.
passwords, including our own. I mean, I
Right.
use tools where I can have it reset to like 50 different combination characters, and I do that almost every month.
Right. And we have to.
Yep,
We
we
have
do.
to. Yes. Because if our admin accounts gets hacked in,
We're done for.
yeah, yes, it may not be anything you did wrong, but still that can still hurt the company.
Hmm.
So yeah, changing your password is very much needed in our field, and it's something that everyone should be in practice of doing every 30 days. But that I know not everyone's going to do that, and that's all right. Just be aware. It's highly encouraged. It's kind of like don't type Google into Google search bar.
it
Nergo knows what I'm talking
reminds
about.
Yep, it reminds me of Spaceballs. The president in Spaceballs had the
Wow, that's the
password
same
for
password I
the
have on my luggage. Yeah.
yeah, the
Oh
same
yeah,
password I have in my luggage, 1 2 3
yeah.
4 5, and you would be surprised. That is probably for several years the number one password that people would actually set on their stuff. And I just have to think, why? Why would you do that?
Well, I'm going to just say this. I was smart. I set my password to 54321. All right. Oh goodness gracious. Yes. Uh, but yes, spear phishing, and yes, spear phishing is what it implies. It is a targeted, focused target on the on a business, on an individual trying to get into the network. And a lot of times, if the hacker has to do something technical, they have to know something about the network before they can really do attacks.
Yeah, it's like a lot of times attacks can be sneaky and
Hmm.
you would not even know it until it's too late.
Yeah.
That's why diligence and proper oversight is so important, not just for the business world. I mean, Vintage, on his comment about e-workers should be telling their bosses what they need. Absolutely. I could not agree with you more on that one, Vintage. It's a lot of the times attacks could be like just waiting in the wings until something happens, and then bam,
Hmm.
everything starts kicking in, and then yeah, we gotta fix this and fix this with quickness.
Hmm. It's not just about preventing the attacks, but it's also planning when the attacks do occur. What procedures do you have in place to restore your network as quickly as possible?
Exactly. That's why backups, even with the day job that I have and other companies, they have their own like backup systems and things like that, and offsite backups. And I would walk into data centers and have to swap backup tapes like
Mm-hmm.
every day before I would go home. And seeing those data centers, whether they're on premise or in the cloud, and how much data that they back up, just as a plan B, for lack of a better word. So if something crashes and something goes down and 75% of their people can't work, this is almost instantaneous where things can go back online.
And yeah, we're getting ready to dive into something that really gets into that nerdy side of things. But yes, you know what? Being able to restore your company's data procedures as quickly as possible is crucial. Anywhere from having a hot site, which is basically a site that has all your data servers and everything geared up, ready to go. If your primary goes down, that one's up to a point that you may have what's known as like a warm site. You have the
Hmm.
equipment, you have everything ready to go. One thing you have to do is flip the switch, turn it on, and maybe put the recent backups data into that. And then you have the cold site where basically it's not ready; it's just there, ready to go if a natural disaster or some other disaster occurred. So, but yes, so part of preparation for the attacks is the preparation of when the attack does happen. Because let's face it, we cannot be 100% of the time protecting us from hackers.
Exactly. Even the nerdiest of folks can somehow and sometimes be victim to it. I know last week when I was in the chat and you had a similar conversation going on, I I admitted I've been doing this for almost 20 years, and even sometimes things slip by me. I get scammed out of money, and I'm thinking, I'm so stupid. But
Mm,
it happens. It happens, and knowing how to protect yourself is like, GI Joe is like knowledge. Knowledge is power.
yes,
Knowing is half the battle.
yes.
Yeah, I am that old. Sorry.
Well, I'm in there. I enjoyed GI Joe in my day. So that being said, uh,
See,
yeah,
I
I mean
do
it's
stuff
got
that I
it's.
remember before that came out. Oh,
I'm sorry, Dave. What's that? You kind of
should I
broke
do
up.
that stuff that I remember before that came out?
You remember
Nah.
before GI Joe came out?
The original GI Joe and Barbie. I can remember those things.
Oh, the one.
Ah,
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I was young, but I was there.
So yeah, apparently Jen and I probably relate closely to mainframe from GI Joe.
yes.
Yeah, so but yeah, think it's kind of like with a burglary or theft.
Hmm.
Uh, in my area, we have a problem with people like to check car doors at night.
Yeah.
It takes you just for okay, I'm running inside and you forget to hit the button, or you hit the button on your car on your thing and for on your fob, and it doesn't lock the door, and you're thinking you're okay, the door's locked, and now actually it's not. It just takes that one time for the thief to be uh, successful in going into your car and take something from it. Hence, this is why it's highly encouraged. You don't keep something really really valuable in your car. It's not a good idea.
Yeah, it's just like even with my car, if I even walk away from it for like half a second, I get a notification on my phone saying, "Hey, your door's unlocked. Can you tap here and lock your phone up?" Even with apps that are connected to our cars. Now, that is still an open point for a potential incident to occur. So
Mm-hmm.
even something as simple as that, people have to watch out for.
Oh yes, yes. It's great that you can lock your car door. It's great that you can unlock your car door from anywhere in the world. But it's also a door that can be that someone could pick to go through and to get into that car. It doesn't take much, I don't think.
Nope.
I don't use those apps. I guess I'm a little old school in that thinking. I prefer to hit the fob and hear that beep beep and be happy.
Well, you realise, Doc, that fob is actually interceptable as well.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
It is.
Yes.
And I the one that I don't like now is your push button start cars, um, because they're actually easier to steal than what people realise.
It
And
is.
Mhm.
all you need is a decent um, radio scanner and
Mhm.
a decent radio transmitter, and you can basically steal anybody's push button car, and they won't know about it until they come out in the morning because the alarms won't go off.
Yeah.
And you can also you need to be careful with your wallet or purse and have an RFID resistant
Yep.
part in your wallet because people can go right by with a reader and steal the information right off the credit card.
Yep, even for my ladies out there, there are wallets. Vera Bradley has a RFID protected wallet out. There's actually a site that deals specifically in handbags, purses, and wallets that are all RFID protected. And if I find that doc, I'll put it in our private chat so
Okay.
that you can send it, put it in the live chat here. I had
Okay.
one of those for years. And watch, speaking on your comment regarding the key fobs, there's actually from that site, there's actually what's called a Faraday bag. If you're familiar with the Faraday cage,
Yes.
there's
Yes.
there's actually what's called a Faraday bag that you can put key fobs or Bluetooth devices into that bag to potentially block those signals from getting to the fob.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes. There's tools out there that'll equipment that will keep you will help protect you. I think that what it boils down to at the end of the day, the most secure thing with car doors and is the key.
Hmm.
Uh, you have to physically be at the vehicle to get into the vehicle. Still, and it can still be done, but that you don't have three or four different ways of getting into the vehicle and even be able to get into the vehicle standing a distance away. You can unlock it without being close to it. Uh, it comes down to one of the things that they taught us in the military when back in '91 when I went through basic training
Hmm.
was the most secure method of communicating, sending messages in a combat situation was by messenger. The
Yep.
second most secure method was hardwire uh, from point A to point B.
I disagree with that second one, but your first one I would agree with
Yeah, that was
because it's
back in
very
'91.
yeah, it's very easy to tap a hardwired communication system, particularly back then because it was still analog.
You're
So
right. It was still analog back then, but
so if you all you would have to do is watch your enemy lay their hardwire cable, wait for them to disappear, slide over, scratch open the two wires, and hook up an intercept, and you'll be able to hear all of their communications.
and then because their thinking was wireless could be intercepted from anywhere, whereas wired, yes, you can still be connected to it, but you have to be physically at that wire to be to connect to it.
Mm.
So obviously, you're not going to do a wired connection uh, beyond the front lines. It's going to be front lines running backwards, but still, yes, the enemy can get behind the back front lines and intercept communications. But that was the teaching back then. I'm sure it's probably changed a hair. Don't know. I'm not planning on going to basic training anytime soon. I don't think they would have me if I showed up. So, that being said, that's just kind of one of those things that you just tend to remember. That the old school of doing things sometimes is more secure. It may not be the most efficient.
Well, and I still think some of the really old school stuff that I mean, when I was in the Coast Guard, we still were using radio scramblers, and scramblers are still pretty hard to defeat because they would encode. You know, you had a coding on both ends, and if you didn't know what the code key was, that was awfully tough. I mean, I'm sure they probably could have been, but good old analog encryption like that still works pretty well sometimes. Maybe you guys even know what I'm talking about.
Uh, Sorry, no. My
Okay,
apologies.
Yeah.
a scrambler, basically, a scrambler was a device you put on each end of the. I hope I'm not saying things I shouldn't. But you put it on each end of the receipt, like somebody's transmitting with it, someone would receive with it, and there was a schedule of codes you would use. And so, say if you were transmitting at 2
Okay.
a.m. on Saturday, you knew what the code was for 2 a.m. Saturday for your scrambler, and they would scramble it, and you would unscramble it on your end, and it was tough to break.
Basically, an encryption tool.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
solid encryption.
Yes. And we see that now in everyday life and a good example would be VPNs.
Yep.
But remember when Pretty Good Privacy came out a few years back? That was pretty solid. That was based on the old scrambler system.
So
Okay.
that so The point being is, if someone wants to hack you, they can do it. It's not impossible. Uh, it doesn't matter how secure your workplace is. It does not matter how secure you keep your stuff. If they really truly want to get in, they're going to get in. The only reason they might not be getting into yours is they're probably not trying as hard as on yours because they see an easier target over here or over on the other side. And that's another thing too. So they're going to go after if their goal is to steal identity, to steal money, they're going to look at the easier target. If their plans were to not just steal money, but steal a lot of money from a bigger organization or steal data from a bigger organization, then they'll probably do a little bit more of a focused attack. But
Mm.
they're going to try to find that weak point, and that is their whole ultimate goal. That is what hackers do. They try to find a weak point. And you have all kinds of tools out there that are being used. Every major company out there has a network security team, or they contract it out to a network security team who's monitoring their network real time. Uh, we joke about this when I worked on an Air Force installation not too long ago. But if you did something on your computer, somewhere somewhere there was a network security guy that knew what you did,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, don't. So I kind of got very very big in practice when I was there. I did not go check my personal bank account. I did not go check anything personal on the government's computer because I did not want the government to know how much money I had in my bank because then I could see them sending IRS over and I want to know where's our fair share. So yeah, I'm being facetious a little bit. I'm making a little bit of a joke, but you get the point I'm making. uh, no, I don't want the government to know who's emailing my personal account without a proper warrant. So yeah.
Well, there are a lot of places who can look at your account and don't need a warrant. I teach at a disciplinary
No.
high school. I teach at a disciplinary high school, and all the kids think, "Oh, I can just go on my computer and do whatever I want on the system because they can't look." Wrong. I mean, it's kind of funny. Occasionally, a kid will go to a site that he's not supposed to, usually involving naked women, and
Yeah.
and then they're amazed when 30 minutes later the principal comes and pulls him out of class, and he has to go explain to the tech guy what he was doing.
Mhm. Yeah, so you do something on a computer that is not owned by you. It's owned by your company, by a government
Hmm.
entity. Anything and everything you've done can be looked at by somebody.
Yeah.
And you cannot if I was to show up at someone's office and say, okay, I need to take your computer right now. Oh no, I hold on, nope, nope.
Nope.
I need no,
Hand it
no,
over.
hand it over. But I got my personal. Doesn't you should not have anything personal on that computer. That is your work computer.
And
I mean,
fortunately
I've got
for
a story. I'm sorry, David. Go ahead,
no,
please.
no, go ahead. I can wait. That's okay.
I mean, I have a story on that one as well, Doc. I was teaching for a while. I was a department chair at a school in my home state, which unfortunately is no longer in operation. But I was asked to bring my IT students, who, ironically enough, the cohort that we were on that quarter was security, and I we got asked to speak about health information technology to the nursing students.
Mm-hmm.
So what we did to I wouldn't say either surprise them or scare the absolute crap out of them was something called blue snarfing. Are you familiar with what that is?
Never heard of it.
You explain
No.
it. I think I heard it before, but you'll have to explain it to me because I'm thinking of several different things and I'm not quite sure.
Blue snarfing is actually using Bluetooth to scan for connections that you can connect to overtake calls.
Uh,
Okay.
So,
This,
so what we did was I had myself and two of my other students turn the Bluetooth on their phone, and I advised the nursing students in there to do the same. And we did not have any clue what any of their device names were. But immediately, as we started scanning for Bluetooth IDs and say, who is Cheryl's iPhone, or where is Grandma Teddy's phone? And everybody just started to panic because they didn't know that we knew that info. But
But,
the Bluetooth had all of that connection information. And
mhm.
sure enough, we were able to connect. And that really woke those ladies up.
Oh yes, and here's the thing with nursing, medical, HIPAA is a big, big thing,
Exactly.
very big thing. Being in IT, and as an EMT, yeah, I respect HIPAA
Uh-huh.
greatly. And the last thing the hospital wants ever to happen is to find out a patient's information slipped out of their control because someone hacked into their system or someone got careless with it. They would get very, very upset. HIPAA is
Yeah,
very.
yeah, even with my day job, we have to go through HIPAA training every 6 months.
Oh, that's very
Every six
interesting.
months.
That's very
Mhm.
interesting. That probably because some of your clients are hospitals, correct?
Yeah, I do work with several medical schools, and I do work for some of my clients are hospitals. Yes.
Yes, and that's yeah, that makes totally sense. HIPAA is a very, very serious law. Uh, I've heard of people going to prison for it, but these
Hmm.
were very, very extreme circumstances where they were actually using that information to blackmail somebody. But but that was one of the reasons. That's how they got into prison. They were using their access for to blackmail someone about their medical records, and that is a no go in my book in a lot in different ways. But yes, yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Doc.
yeah. And at best, if there's a HIPAA violation that could have been very much prevented, at best you're getting a fine. You don't want those fines. They're not cheap fines. They will find a mess out of you. And of course, at worst, you're going to go to prison. So, so yes, if a doctor's office, where it's government maintained or private, tells someone not to record because HIPAA reasons, yes, that individual that's probably recording probably does not need to worry about HIPAA, but that medical staff person does, and that medical staff person has to protect the patient's data, even from the individual that has nothing to do with the hospital or the medical facilities.
Which is why when these fraudsters go to these different hospitals, they say, "Well, HIPAA doesn't apply to me." Yes, it does. The
Yes, it does.
hospital is protecting their information by kicking your lane butt out of the building. So you
Yeah.
have to follow that. That's the law. That's not just their policy; it is a law.
Yes, it's a law, and that then they have to do that to protect the patient's information.
Yeah,
Uh,
and when I see that, I mean, when I watch these types of videos, whether it's on Watch, it's on your channel, or several of the other channels that I still watch, I'm seeing that, and they're saying, "Oh, HIPAA doesn't apply to me. It's the illness is on you to protect that information." That's 100% true, but don't you think that's what those people are doing by asking you to kick rocks?
Yep, that's
Yeah,
exactly what
exactly.
you
yeah, uh, s- yeah, just tell them to kick rocks. Uh, they're there to disrupt the business of that facility. Kick
do. Rocks
rocks.
are outside, so you need to go outside.
Yeah, go outside, record the building from the public, but don't try to record while you're there. And here we are. We're talking about hacking and all that kind of stuff. So I just happened to look on my phone in Facebook, and I had posted a comment probably I don't know months ago about a local business, and some individual that I've never seen or heard from before sends me a message or actually comments in my on my comment that I got questions about this business. Can you send me a private message? And that answer is no. I am not going to send you that private message because
Nope.
yeah, you're more likely a scammer.
No,
And of course, the pictures of an attractive young woman.
yeah.
So, uh, no, that's not happening.
So if it had been a picture of, say, dumbwaiter, you would have sent the information then?
Oh gosh, yeah, dumbwaiter would have got it in a heartbeat. I
He's
would be
so
like, "Hey,
credible.
dude, yeah, here you go."
Yeah, he's completely credible. Yeah, yeah.
So if we're going to do that, we need to send pictures of dumbwaiter to you, not pretty young women in bikinis.
Better yet. See now
Oh
you
dear.
just now me liking to use AI and doing things with AI.
Hmm.
I got a bad idea for an upcoming picture that I might release.
Oh dear.
uh,
Oh dear.
but I
I even
won't.
want to know, Doc.
I do
Uh,
not know this man. I've
you,
never
you'll get a good laugh
or
out of
have
it.
no idea who he is.
You'll get a good laugh. Someone else probably would not, but I think a lot of people in this chat would get a very good laugh. But yes, which I find that interesting. Here we are. We are talking about things, and someone at random sends me a message about a local business. They're nowhere from near my location. Uh, no, I'm not going to reply to that person because it's going to be a start of a conversation, and then they'll ask questions that they obviously can get from just surfing the network by googling the business name, by finding their Facebook page, and just say, "Hey, did you go to this event on such day?" And I might be, "Oh, yeah, sure did. Yeah. I think I saw you there, or we may have talked." Which, of course, we didn't because that person's not real.
Hmm.
But
Well, that does
but
seem to get away.
this is I love the timing of that particular message. It's like, thank you. We are online. We are talking about this kind of stuff, and you put and you're actually adding more to the conversation. Thank you, random scammer, whoever you are.
Yeah.
So and there's one scam that I didn't really kind of address yet, but this is something I think is a good word of warning to folks. If you happen to be in a parking lot anywhere, whether it's where you work at or your business or anywhere like that, and you find a USB drive,
Oh
you
yeah. I
don't
know
take
what you're
that.
talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't take that inside and plug it into your computer. Don't do anything with it. If anything, hand it over to security.
No, we
Or
don't want it.
I'm sorry.
Oh
We
no,
don't
no,
want
no,
it.
no,
Well, when I say
no.
security, well, it depends on. Well, I'm thinking more like network security.
I
Oh,
would
you
say
go.
turn it
Yeah.
over to the authorities. I'll do you one better. Even turn it over to the authorities. There's also another example of that, Doc.
Uh
If you are
huh.
ever in an airport or you're ever in a shopping mall and they have those stands where I say, hey, plug in your phone, charge it up while you wait,
Don't
Don't
run
do
for
use
the
that.
it.
hills.
Yep.
Run for the hills from that. That is a potential attack. And I apologize if anybody gets offended by this title, but it is what it is. It's called juice jacking. Juice
Wow.
jacking is basically where somebody would plug it into what they think is a very innocent way of being hospitable to customers and letting them charge their phones.
Mm-hmm.
But there could be a Wi Fi transmitter inside one of those machines that is transmitting your information from your phone, from your laptop to them.
Right.
And
So
remember, guys,
that's
it's
why,
important to remember that when a lot of phones, when you're plugging in your phone to charge it in, that's the same port you use to transfer data. And
Yes.
exactly.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You can actually bypass that though. You can actually get cables that have the data lines disconnected, so that it's purely just power line. So that
There's
you
settings.
can
Yep.
Yes.
no, not in your settings. It's actually a physical cable,
Really?
and
yeah,
yes, and you basically you go to one of those charging stations. Let's say it's USB-C charging station for your Samsungs and whatnot, because Apple don't use it. You most don't take.
Apple's going to USB C now.
Yeah, I know Apple is
Yep.
because they've been told to, but let's assume that we're talking about the Lightning cable or USB-C. So you can actually go out and buy these cables are only like about 6 inches long,
Mm-hmm.
and you plug the USB-C into the charging side of it. You plug the other USB-C into your side, into your phone, and it's labelled so that you know which way to put it in. They'll mark them, and all it is, it's literally just the black and the red cable connecting the two ends of the USB-Cs to each other, so that you can
Mhm.
charge your phone, but nobody can take data off your phone unless they know the password to get through your Wi-Fi, unless they know the password to get through your Bluetooth. They're not going to be able to easily get to the data on your phone or your laptop or whatnot. But
Well,
all they've done is literally disconnect the two cables in that USB-C cable into that charging cable. But I mean, once again, it's something else you've got to carry with you. But yeah, there are hardware um, options available to you, so that you don't have to worry about sharing data on community charging stations.
the easiest way to avoid all that, though, whenever you're traveling, is to remember to take an external charger with you and just plug it into the wall. You know, because you're plugged in from a power cord to your phone through the charger, and when you charge it, then you're done. Don't let anybody have any access to anything. Don't let anybody plug in your phone. Period.
But see,
Mhm.
we don't allow that at the shopping centre that I do security for. We see you plug into the power points at the shopping centre, we'll kick you out.
Hmm.
I'll come up to you and I'll say, sorry, you can't charge your phone here. Oh, why not? Because
Yep.
it's the policy of the shopping centre. If you don't remove if you don't remove it, if you don't unplug it, I'm tossing you out. And the number of people that I've tossed out for refusing to disconnect their phones from from their chargers and that, you know, a lot of them are young kids who think they know better. Um, but yeah, some places won't allow you to use your own charger in their power supplies, in their in their shopping centre
Well,
power.
most airports and train stations and such have areas where you can do that. So
Yep.
that's
I mean,
interesting.
I was in an airport just last week because I went on a business trip, and even there was areas where they actually marked those particular type of chargers as being out of order, and I'm like, are they out of order because of mechanical problems, or are they out of order because of the potential attack happening? So it's worth to always be careful when you're seeing stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the easy way is just carry, particularly,
Portable
you know,
battery.
Yeah. Backup.
yeah, carry a battery pack with you. Um, it's the easy way to do it. Um, but I mean, it's a lot easier and I'm not being sexist here, but it's a lot easier for a female with a handbag to carry a battery pack than it is for a guy in a pair of
Watch,
tight
I think
denim
you and
jeans.
Mr. Nerd Girl would definitely agree because every time I have like two pouches in my handbag, one is for my earbuds and the other is for my chargers and my two big Anchor battery packs that I have to keep on me like at all times.
Okay. Yes. Sorry about that. I had to take care of a couple things real quick. Uh, yes, I think that's great that there's that cable that will prevent people data going through the line when you're trying to just get power. That's an awesome thing. That is an awesome thing because I think if there's a way to get into it, hackers will find it. And I think it doesn't matter what doors we close and lock down and secure, they'll find that new door, or they'll create a new door.
Yeah, it's
Or
just
they'll just
all,
kick in
Yep.
all you're doing is
the
delaying the entry.
Yes.
Basically, you lock down one door, you might buy yourself a day, you might buy yourself a week, you might buy yourself a month, but eventually
Hmm.
they're going to find somewhere else to come in, and then you have to lock that one down, and it's just a never-ending cycle.
And of course, there's skimming. Another potential attack, if you're familiar with skimming, that's basically somebody puts, if you ever go to gas station, prepay at the pump, things like that, where you actually have to either insert your chip or scan your credit card. Somebody will actually place a cover over that that's very similar to what the store would have. And
Right.
every time you scan that card, it takes that information off. And there's there's a channel on Instagram that actually calls that out and will actually pull skimmers off of stores credit card readers at their at their registers saying, "Up, somebody did this to you. Turn this,
Yeah,
here it is. Get that out
but
of there."
there are ATM. There's that sometimes ATMs can be bad about that too.
And I'm just going to also add this to that. Some recommendations is not to give it to the cashier at the store, but call the police and turn it over to the police because the cashier could be the person that did it.
Yes.
So, and that is a very common thing. It happens. I hear it almost every day that somewhere in a gas station had a scammer on it. Uh,
Hmm.
I've learned to try to recognize what they look like, but even then, hey, it's morning time. I probably have not drank my monster yet. I'm not fully awake. I need gas. Uh, uh, okay.
Yeah.
Another way to
How did I?
avoid a lot,
When
at
did I
least
buy that Tesla?
a lot of way to avoid a lot of your risk as far as at least with small things like getting gas and that kind of thing is to carry some cash with you. Get enough cash for the week where you can get gas and maybe buy lunch or something, and that way you don't have to worry about your exposure with credit cards or online or whatever. That's kind of an old school solution, but it is a good solution.
And Doc, if that was the case, you'd actually be getting money put back into your account, wouldn't it? If it was a Tesla.
If it was a Tesla.
Oh dear.
Oh boy, I can see this. I can see it coming in the chat already.
uh,
Oh,
oh
I don't
boy.
want to get started on Tesla, please. Something
I'm
for
just
me.
using I'm just using it as an example.
I know. I know.
But I mean, seriously though, Doc, you're saying you try to make yourself aware of them all. How many different card readers are
Mhm.
out there? There's no way known you could keep track of every single one of them and go, oh, that's a fake, that's real, that
Yeah.
looks sus. Your ATM's different to the one at the checkout. The one at the checkout's different to the one at the service station.
Mhm.
There's just no way to, you know, be able to identify every single fake one out there because there's so many different designs.
Right.
Even two at the checkout. You go to the checkout at your 7-Eleven and the checkout at Walmart. They're two different ones. So,
Mhm.
trying to keep track of them, and that's why it's so easy to catch people with those skimmers is because
You can't,
you
yeah,
can't
recognize
identify
everything.
it.
Right. Real quick, I just want to say to everyone in chat, uh, I want you to come in. I want you to have a good time, have a discussion about what's going on. If you have questions on what's going on, please, yeah, in all caps, type the word question, then a colon, and then cite your question. So if we see it, we can answer it. But I'm also going to ask everybody, please be respectful of everyone in chat and everyone in the panel. I'm just going to. It's that's just a pet peeve of mine. I want you to come in and have a good time. It's okay not to agree with everyone's opinions on things, but at the same time, be respectful, though. And I just want to address that real quick. Okay, sorry about that. And thank you, Dove. Thank you very much.
And Dove, in response to your earlier comment, fanny packs are making a comeback, so it's always good.
And Carmen Shepard, thank you for demonstrating exactly like this. Question, then put your question here. Thank you, Carmen Shepard. Okay. So we earlier made a reference to white hat hackers and black hat hackers,
Hmm.
and I think it's time to start discussing because this is one of the tools that you have to fight hacking. And that being said, uh, hang on a second. That being said, uh, uh, what are black hat hackers? What are white hat hackers?
Mhm.
And you have to think about the old cowboy movies. You had to when the cowboy wore a white hat. I know David knows this answer. If he wore a white hat, what was he?
Well, hopefully he was a good guy.
Yes. And if he
That's
wore a
not what I
black,
was thinking.
yeah, and if he wore a
Yep.
black hat, he was the black. He was the bad
He
guy.
was
Yep. That
Although
reference
not
is
always,
spot
because
on.
a couple of guys
It's
have been
spot
known to
on.
wear black hats that were good guys. But
Yeah. So when we start talking about hackers that are white hat hackers or hackers that are black hat hackers, then you know that black hat hacker is the one that is actually trying to break in to steal data. And what do they? And what do they break in to steal data? A lot of times to get data for money, for financial gain, and some are what we could say true. Uh, okay, Tim. Sorry. All right. But white, but the white hat hackers, well, black hat hackers, they're breaking in. They're trying to take data. They're trying to take the data for your financial gain. Some of them are actually, you could say, morally compelled to take that data to for moral reasons. Still against the law. Still. And I'm sorry, MCD. These okay.
Red hat if they're Linux.
Oh, why can't someone hack my account
Yay!
and pay my bills or drop a lot of money in it? I don't think it's going to happen that way. Why can't they?
but that
Oh,
that'd be a white hacker. He's the good hacker, so he's giving you
Yes.
stuff.
whoa, Front Watch. You forgot to say the word hat.
No, I did say hat.
No, I didn't hear hat.
Oh,
he could
sorry.
have.
No, I did say white hat. You just don't understand. You just don't understand Australian. That's your problem. You need to have an interpreter to interpret
Oh,
Australian to American.
go put your Vegemite on your toast.
Okay.
Not Vegemite, please, not Vegemite.
Ugh.
Oh, I love that. But yes, so there is. You still have those. They might be black hackers, but they still doing something that they feel morally they should. Where we agree with it or not, that's a different story. I mean, some people might say Snowden. He would be classified as a black hacker, but he was doing something that he felt morally he should do.
Well, it depends
Whether
on
you
the
agree
people.
with it or not,
Yeah, I
just
mean
yeah.
that would be a debate
Yeah.
for me.
So, but I'm using that as an example because that's probably an example that most of us know about, and that's very very loosely. All right, but then you have the white hat hackers, and as that implies, white hat hackers are the good guys, and their job is to break into the network to find the problems. And quite frankly, if they're doing that, you want them to find the problems, right?
Yeah.
Oh yes, you know already. You can already tell that. Uh, you can already tell that the I'm sorry, the chat's actually entertaining me right now, and I do want to
Really?
apologize. You guys are very much entertaining me. But the white hat hackers, they 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 usually are contractors. They work from.
Uh-huh.
They don't work for the company that they're trying to break in. Sometimes they know something about the network. Sometimes they don't know anything about the network. I think that's very key too. That they find out they break in without knowing the network, and then they send a report in and explain how they break in so that the company and their network security can toughen that one up.
I
And
know
a
Carla
question,
had a question. Yeah, can someone stealing my identity be able to raise my credit score? I think my answer would be I wish.
I think that's usually going to affect your credit score in the other direction,
Yeah,
but not raise it.
Well, I guess in
exactly.
theory, if the guy stole your, at least in the short term, if they stole your identity and bought a bunch of stuff, your credit score would go up briefly. Then it would plummet. But hey, for a day or two, you might be okay.
Well, then there's some people out there that there's credit scores, and I won't say who I might think might qualify in that area. I think some people probably think of those names right now. Uh, but there's some people that their credit scores are probably so low that, well,
They have no risk of being hacked. How's
yeah,
that?
yeah, well, or if they are hacked, the hacker might just send them money and just say, "I'm sorry, I didn't know it was that bad for
I
you.
feel so bad for them.
I'm sorry, I did not realize that. Here's a few $1,000. Get yourself squared away, buddy."
But I mean,
Uh,
karma's helper. The person stealing your identity might, I don't know, appear in court for you, sign a bond for you.
Oh,
You know,
what?
yeah,
Naughty.
yeah,
Naughty, what?
yes, that's true. They actually might show up for probation for you too for a little
yeah.
bit, and yeah, and doggone it, they may even pay a couple of the fines for you as well. So yeah, it could have it. They could be helpful, maybe.
Anything's possible.
Yes, everything. Yeah,
Although
sure.
that's probably way down the list. But hey, anything's possible.
Hmm.
Hey, we've seen proof of it. We've
Yeah,
seen proof right here on
on
YouTube for that,
on the interwebs.
and it wasn't a Hollywood script.
So
Anyway,
yeah. Okay.
I'm
Sometimes it
not
says,
saying
yeah.
anything.
You notice that we're trying not to say anybody's particular name because I don't want us to go down that rabbit hole.
You
Yeah, because it's very easy to happen. I wanted
Mhm.
to try to focus on the topic at hand, but it's sometimes easy to get away from the topic because it's like
it's still,
sometimes things touch each other. They come together.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're still relevant to each other.
Yes. But yes, white hat hackers, they are necessary. That was one thing I wish I could have gotten into in my career. I would love to have been a white hat hacker. But I think a lot of them probably were black hat hackers before they became a white hat hacker.
Well, I
Well, a
mean,
fair number of them just got caught.
They just never got caught, or if they got caught,
Or they
they
got
got
caught and got busted.
rehabilitated.
That was part of the deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go back to like the, I'll say the late '60s, early '70s, when you started having early computer systems with early networks, and you had the people
Mhm.
breaking into them, and the FBI get called in. Did 9 times out of 10 they were doing deals with these people? You
Hmm.
come work for us for the next 15 years or 20 years. You show us how to secure against it,
Hmm.
and we're not going to do anything against you, but you've got to come and work for us. So a lot of the white hat hackers were used to being black hats to start with, but they got caught and they've accepted their punishment and they've turned it over to actually help out with network security, which is, I can see it
Yeah,
being
that's
beneficial and at the same time also a negative because they could then, once they leave the contract, they could turn around and go back to doing what they were doing.
They could,
But
but the problem is that now that
they're on a watch list.
they're on a watch list,
yep.
and they're going to get caught quicker because of that, and because there's going to be another white hat hackers that's probably keeping an eye on their activity in some way, form, or fashion. So it's a very good career because that's a set of skills that not that many people have. It's a set of skills that's required. Quite frankly, if a white hat hacker gave me a report that says, I didn't find anything, I'm going to say, well, you're not very good at your job. Let me go hire someone else because I know you'll find something. Heck, I might put something in there for you to find it. But that being said, it is a very interesting career goals, and I think it's all kinds of stuff. Now, have you guys ever heard of honeypot as far as network security is concerned?
I have.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. I meant for David and David
Yes.
because I know you have, nerd girl. I know you have.
No, I haven't heard of honeypot.
Okay, so honeypot. This is a very very interesting thing, and it happens on a industry level. Usually, not all the time, but usually, where a network security administrator or network admin creates a little network that looks very attractive for a hacker to go break into.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is, I want to see what you do to get into this network. The idea is to maybe also say, hey, look over here at this right hand while my left hand's doing something else. It means to either catch the hacker or to get information about what's being hacked and how they're attacking, so you can strengthen that part of your network up. Or like I said, or a distraction, and it works to a point. I don't think it's going to be the 100% answer, because at some point a hacker's going to figure out, I just got honeypotted.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that was a verb. That's interesting.
Yeah, well,
Yep, it's actually a thing.
it is a thing. It is and well, we do have use the term honeypot for several different reasons. A lot of people think when they hear honeypot, they're thinking a love interest for maybe someone that's in the intelligence community, or a love interest in a spy type thing.
Yep.
But in our case, it's more like, look at this very attractive network that it's going to be easy for you to get into. I guess I could. Okay,
See,
but
I would, if I came across a network that was really easy to get in, and I mean, I have done my share of um, illegal entry into networks. But if I came across a network that was so easy to get into, that had very little pushback on it, I'd I'd be sus that it was a fake network to start with.
I would
Mm-hmm.
imagine that to some degree, people that's creating that honeypot, they would create some form of pushback. They don't want to make it too easy. At the same time, they don't want to make it difficult.
Yeah,
You're right. If it's too easy, oh look here, I'm getting into this bank's accounts and being able to look up people's. Wait a minute, this. Yeah, no, they don't want
because I
that.
mean, let's say you're with a company that's very similar to another company that last week I managed to hack my way into, but it was a hard system to get through, but I eventually got through because of perseverance.
Uh,
Then I came across your company and sort of I just slipped in as if there was nothing there. I'd be a little bit sus as to whether, hang on, is this a real network? Is this really that company's network, or is this being set up to catch people? And I'd be out the back door. I'd be back out that door, you know,
Well,
faster than.
one group that's that are white hat hackers is the one we were talking about last week, Scammer Payback. You familiar with them?
Yes.
He does a lot of honeypot traps for those guys, and they work really well.
Scammer Payback is doing the Lord's work when it comes
Yeah, he
to
really is. He's
fighting
doing.
stuff like that. I would adore having a conversation with Pierogi and his team. I will
And
put it out
Pierogi's so
there. I
much fun
would
to watch because he
love to
really
have a
loves what he's
conversation.
doing. Pierogi is
Is
so much
that the
fun
one
to
that
watch. He
said
loves
that?
what he's doing all the time. Huh?
Is
I'm
that the
sorry.
one that will say, "Oh, it's Grandma so and so
Yeah,
here," and I'm
That's
that's
the
the one.
one. That's the
yeah,
one.
I enjoy watching those his videos. They are really good.
hey guys,
They drag out a bit, but they
I'm putting a
I
link
like
in
the
the group
results.
chat. If someone can confirm that this is his YouTube page, I would appreciate it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Where'd the chat go?
That's the one.
Yeah, that's the one.
Confirmed.
Okay, I'm going to put it in the.
Confirmed.
I
Okay,
can't see
I'm
the
going to
chat.
go ahead and put it in the chat now, so people can go check it out.
Hey, why can't I see the private chat? What am I doing wrong?
You have to go down at the tab that says private chat, and then you have the group, then you have the individual. So you can send an individual a private message. Like earlier, Jen and I talked about something privately while the show was going on for me to take care of,
I'm not
Mhm.
seeing a chat button.
which is a feature.
Where?
So, like right now, David, I could send you a message.
just
Uh-oh,
losing?
I think we lost Doc.
Oh, that's not good.
All right. Well, actually, this is
I am so sorry. I hit the wrong
what
button.
happened, Doc?
Apparently.
A hacker hit you. Oh no.
But yeah, like it's in, and this is one features I like about EV Mux, which is the new streaming service that I've started to use for it's kind of similar to StreamYard. And in fact, I'm gonna just put the overlay
Where is the chat button, guys? I cannot see a chat button anywhere.
here, but now I never saw this uh, how how it would look for you. Unfortunately, I only can see it, how it looks as the content creator. Uh, but for me, it's kind of right above the everybody icon at the bottom of the screen, and you should see something for private chat.
Share video, share screen, dark mode, settings.
All right. So I am using EV Mux. StreamYard upped their price back in August. I got rid of StreamYard and started experimenting with Restream, and I found EV Mux because I did not care for StreamYard Restream. I like StreamYard better because I think their layout's a little bit more natural feeling. But there's features on EV Mux that I really enjoy, and one of the features is, and you
Now,
probably have is uh, there's a private chat where I can actually message an individual and not the whole panel. So if let's say Nerd Girl says something that I'm like, don't say that. That's bad. Not good. Don't say that. She'll be the only person that'll see it. It's not me
Yeah.
scolding her in front of others.
Which he is
I'm
which
the
he
one
has not
scolding
done
her.
yet. Let's
And
be transparent here. He has not done it.
another feature that's also we found to be a
oh,
problem,
hey, do you realize?
but
Hey, did you see the one? I just got into the chat. Did you see that one from Eagle Nick Audits?
yeah, where he popped in and then kind of
I just want to make sure you
I
saw
at
think
it.
that was
the time that
Will.
I had the music playing, so I wasn't going to throw him on there right then, and then he jumped out before we
Oh,
got
okay.
done.
Well, he's
So
getting
yeah,
married, so given
yeah, yeah, but that's Will playing as Eagle Nick Audits, and I was going to throw him up here, but he didn't
Yeah.
wait long enough, unfortunately.
Will, if you're there, come on back.
That being said, uh, so that so one of the other features I like, but it's also a hinder, is we have what's known as listen off stage feeds. Now, why I like this is if I'm setting up the studio and someone was to come in, they can say something to me, and I would know what's going on. Oh, David just popped in. Hey, David, how's it going? Whereas it takes if I'm doing something on one monitor and the studio's on another monitor, I may not realize it for 5 6 minutes that he's in there waiting on me to say hi to him. So, but the problem with that is if you go on stage and that listen off stage feeds is turned on, there is no echo. There's and that you have to make sure it's turned off. And we've discovered this a couple of weeks back. One of the biggest criticism of that particular episode was there was a horrible feedback, and then there's a realization all of us had our live on off stage feeds on. So now
Mhm.
we make sure it's turned off. And Nerd Girl, first time popping on EV Mux, first time ever using this particular software, I made sure she was aware of it because it's a feature that not everyone has.
Hi, Katie Zed.
And KT says in the house, "Hey, KT said, how you doing? We will be wrapping this up before you go live at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time, and I will ask one of the mods if you could please put KT said's channel in the chat, and I will pin it on top. Or if better yet, if her live stream is already advertised, put that link in, and I'll put it in the chat and pin it or pin that comment. So everyone would go there after this show. We'll be wrapping this up 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central. So thank you for popping in. All right.
And Katie, I have to say,
And
you're
if you
my
hadn't
first
already done so,
artist too.
please hit that like button. Please also share and subscribe. All that helps me out, helps the algorithm, and that is good. Oh, really? So That's why I'm noticing there's a little dip in what's going on. So, okay, if anyone wants, if Tim, if you could please maybe put in a chat with both links so people can pick which way they can go. That'd be great. But I would prefer you to stay until I'm done. Please don't leave. Please wait, because I like to do this for 2 hours.
Uh-oh. Oh,
And
well.
for some reason, GS likes to dunk on nerds a lot. He says he loves nerds, but he likes to dunk on them.
No, girl, I'm not hearing you. I don't know if you're muted or I'm
Oh
seeing where you're
gosh,
talking, but I'm not hearing you.
you're
No,
not hearing
yeah,
I
no,
hear her.
I hear her.
Really?
Go clean out your ears, Doc.
me?
Yeah, I can see where she's talking. I'm just not hearing her. So let me. No, girl, can I ask you to pop out and pop back in? Let's see if that helps.
Sure. Let me see what I
Because I
need
don't want to
to.
refresh me. The reason I don't think I can hear you is because I did hit that back button and that may have thrown something off. And
Got it. I will rejoin. I will be back shortly.
uh, I'm afraid to hit the back button again or go back out and come back in.
Let me rejoin. I'll be right back.
Hey, Doc, you know that listen off stage feeds?
Yeah.
I find that if I have that switched off,
Uh-huh.
it actually acts as a mute for the speakers.
Yeah.
Not so much as an echo blocker, but if I switch it back on, you guys come through clearer. Except for you,
Really?
Dave. Except for you, Dave. You've been really for me, I don't know about anyone else, but it actually sounds like you're you've got your microphone blocked from somewhere.
That's kind of weird because I was hearing the two of you and I wasn't hearing her. Nerd girl, are you there?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes. Now we got the Verizon commercial going. Okay. Okay, Karma Sepper, I'm going to just say this. It might sound like me problem, but because I'm the host, it's really obvious problem.
Oh,
Just saying.
that works. Okay.
Oh, my entertainment while I get ready. Hey, KT said thank you, thank you. And one day I want to have you on my show. We can talk about some crimes because one of the I really want to talk to you about Pee Wee Gaskins. When after I do that premiere, after I get that video together and get it up, I would love to have you on my show so we can talk about him. And, but hey, that's down the road. That'll be fun. I think it would be. Uh, we can talk about that later.
Watch.
I'm sorry.
If you see what Watch put in the chat, it's an ID 10T problem. If you put the
Yeah.
mush,
ID 10T. Product Watch. You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? There you go.
That's like when,
I
when I was
know
in the
that the
Coast
problem
Guard.
was probably between the keyboard and a chair.
When I was in the Coast Guard, we had to watch the GU-11 attacks.
I know it was funny. It was kind of fun because if you saw what was going on my side of the screen, I could see Nerd Girl talking. I can see her.
yeah.
Yeah, I could see her icon flash as she's talking. I'm like, she's saying a lot, but I'm not hearing anything. I can hear I can hear David. I can hear Frother Watch, unfortunately, but I can't hear her. So
One
I
more
got.
insult. One more insult from you, and I'm going to bed.
Oh, now don't go away. Go away mad. But I just found it very, very interesting. So I don't know what it was. I really don't. This is going to be one of those things I'm going to just have to sit down after the fact and figure out. But of course, we did the, in essence, have you tried turning it off and back on again fix. And it worked.
I forgot
Typical
to turn
technique.
off my offstage feeds, so that's on me. I turned that back off now.
Okay.
Typical
Yes.
typical technician fix. Turn it on, turn it off.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why that works so much and why that's probably the first thing you're going to hear from the help desk if you ever call them.
That's the
Did
first
you
thing you
turn
hear
off?
from it.
Did you restart your computer?
Yes. Actually, I do actually say the phrase, have you tried turning it off and on again?
Turning it on.
Just because I get the IT Crowd show, and if you have not ever watched the IT Crowd, it's a British television show. Ran for like 4 or 5 years, 6 episodes each season, but funny, one of the funniest shows. Even if you're not an IT guy, you will appreciate the humor that it presents.
Mhm.
It's just so funny, and I think one of my favorite episodes was the episode where they went to see the musical called Gay, and it was nothing IT related, but the acting was so funny. It was just crazy. Uh, how Moss, which he's the nerdiest of the two IT guys, found his way as a bartender at the after party. How Roy, who's still a nerd but not as nerdy, got so scared that he used the handicapped toilet that he insisted that he was attacked by some uh, guy with red hair and red beard. That sounds. Watch, don't you have a red hair and red beard?
No, I don't have red hair and a red beard.
Okay, but how he was attacked, and just the whole thing is a great episode. Great series. I highly. It should be still on Netflix. I highly encourage you to go watch it if you haven't ever seen it. The IT Crowd, very funny, and it was back in the came out late XP, early Vista days. Which that is a nerdy thing for me to say,
Oh,
right,
God.
nerd girl?
Yes. I mean, I remember the Windows Millennium Edition. When
Oh,
it
that. Oh,
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 yeah,
God.
oh,
I know. I aged myself big time. I turned 50 last year, and I remember like all of that. I remember floppy disks. I remember large network disks.
uh huh.
I am old. I don't feel old. I don't look old. I don't feel old. But if you look at the numbers, I so
You're still a youngin'. You're
Yes.
still a
thank you,
youngin'.
Watch. Thank you, brother.
I'm just gonna say I'm just a couple years to your senior. I have not been in IT my whole adult life, but I did get in around the Y2K period.
Oh
Oh, my
yes.
God, I'm in
Yes.
a room full of youngins. I go back to punch card days.
Oh, I
Oh.
remember punch cards. You're not that much older than me, Watch. Come on now.
I got 9 years on you.
Not see, that's not much. I mean, my Mr. Nerd Girl's only got 3.
Oh my! But punch card. Oh my gosh! Yes, I remember watching an episode of Emergency, and I know David knows what that is.
Oh
Where
yeah.
they were trying to find a patient, and they were using the punch card system to find the patient.
Oh,
Yep.
Emergency. That
Yeah.
is one of Mr. Nerd Girl's favorite shows. If it's on like at Nick at Night or one of the streaming services that we have, hubby is definitely watching that because that was
I
one of his favorites when he was a
I
kid.
think Amazon Prime has. I know they have Dragnet. All four seasons of Dragnet. I think they got Emergency too. I'm not
Yeah,
positive.
and Jack Webb was behind Emergency as well
Right.
as
Jack Webb was a genius. He was great.
yes, yes.
That
Just
which
the
one is it?
facts.
Squad
Just the facts, man.
Squad 51 is actually on display in the Fireys Museum on the West Coast. And
Really?
Yeah. Oh yes.
there were three Squad 51s, very subtle changes, but if you knew what you were looking for, you could actually see the generation of the trucks throughout the series. And the very
Mhm.
end one is actually now in a museum, in a Fireys museum on the West Coast somewhere. I can't remember what the city is now.
And
Um,
yes, I remember the first season they had that fire truck that was basically a convertible without a roof,
mhm.
and then they introduced a new fire truck. And that particular episode, they also found a old fire truck in a junkyard that they were decided to restore. That was actually very interesting because it was like they were comparing the two trucks, and one had like 1,000 gallons of water, which was or 500 gallons of water, which was about that's about the standard for a city fire truck, about 500 gallons. But the old truck, it had 80 gallons of water. And one of the firemen asked, "What was the point?" So, but it was
What
very interesting how that
what they do?
technology.
Convert a petrol tank to a water tank for a fire truck. Because that's
Well,
about the same.
that's just it though. They probably had to.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
that's
probably had to back then. Because this was a 1930s fire truck, and of course the truck, the brand new truck was 1970s. And even from that truck, if you were to compare that truck to a brand new fire truck today, brand new fire trucks today are much roomier than the old fire truck.
interesting.
Yeah, and some of the newer fire trucks do carry more water than the old ones did. And usually it's rural areas that wants that bigger tank because hey, you may not have a good water source nearby. So you have to have the tankers, and you have to have the have fire trucks that can carry 1,000 to 1,500 gallons of water, and then that tanker that can bring you 3 to 5,000 gallons after it fills up at the nearest fire hydrant that might be 2 miles down the road.
We've actually got some tankers here in WA that are literally the same size as your gasoline tankers for petrol stations,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and they'll do B doubles on them to take them out to a fire out in the country. Um,
yeah.
so yeah, we've got some really big tankers for the country runs. Not so much used around the city, just because all the hydrants. But yeah, we've got some huge tankers that are basic. I suppose they are converted petrol tankers from years ago that are no longer certified for gasoline.
Right.
So
Yes.
they
Well,
use them as water tankers instead.
yeah, you don't want to use those trucks as for gasoline because yeah, you get that water in that gasoline, you've got problems for that new car.
Yeah.
But that being said, you remember what I said earlier. Everyone remembers what I said earlier. How easy it is to get sidetracked from the topic.
Yeah, well, that's true. We've just seen a good demonstration of that.
Yeah, very good demonstration, but it actually was not a bad discussion either. So
Thanks,
that
Tim. I knew it was around that area somewhere, but I just couldn't remember where. Tim Woody has posted up that the actual Squad 51 truck from the TV show Emergency is located at the Los Angeles County Fire Museum in Bellflower, California. So there
and
you go. If anyone lives in the area, you can go and relive your 1970s days at
uh-huh.
the.
Oh, and don't get me started with chips. I love chips as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
Uh,
I got one. I've always had one major problem with chips, though. You cannot hear each other talking on motorcycles like that. It's just
no
impossible.
way.
Nah, but hey, it's Hollywood.
it's Hollywood. Come
Yes,
on.
Oh,
it's
come on.
Hollywood.
Yeah. But just kind of let's wrap up the white hat hacker discussion real quick, and then we'll finish this off. Let me see. I
Well,
know
let
someone.
me say something real quick, just to
Yeah.
wrap up part of it. Getting back to fishing and everything, if you ever get anything, somebody who wants information that you don't know, don't give it to them. Period. End of story.
Yep.
Have
Yeah.
them call them back at a number you know, and then get them to give you information that you can verify. Don't give them any information, and don't verify it unless you know who it is.
Right. Yes.
Trust but verify.
Yeah,
Yes.
as your girl said, trust but verify. It's very important.
So if they're asking for you the last four of your social security, no, don't give them that. If it's a cold call, ask them to verify it to you.
Yeah, actually, don't trust and verify
Yeah.
might be a better way to look at it.
Just hang
Yeah.
up on them.
You hang up on them and call that institution that tried to call you.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Or if you have access to them online, you go look for yourself. Like, oh yeah, we see that you missed a payment. Okay, well I'll check on that and fix it. Thank you. Bye. And go check. Okay, we're not perfect. We can miss payments.
And if anyone calls you and starts pressuring you, just say, "Hey, call me back at a different time. I'm busy,"
Yeah.
and then block the number.
Block the number. They can't call you back from that number. Unfortunately, they do spoof numbers, so that's the downside to
Yeah.
that one.
Actually, Doc, I know we're trying to wrap this up talking about White Hat, but if you ever really want to laugh, there is an app that is out there called RoboKiller, RoboKiller. RoboKiller will actually block those unknown numbers or numbers that are not recognized in your contacts. But what it will actually do is it will also um, record the call, number one, but it kind of goes back and forth. Like there's a robot that will try to chat with them. It will actually do impersonations of celebrities or current and past presidents, and it will record the call so you can play it back, and it's actually pretty funny. I had one lady actually come to me and said, "I think somebody's messing with your number," and I said, "Why is that?" And he said, "I was on a 10-minute conversation with Joe Biden, and I wasn't even there."
Well, I'm just going to say this. If you were to get in a 10-minute conversation with Joe Biden, it probably was not very coherent. I mean, unfortunately, that it was very obvious that he was going through old age. And
Yeah.
so, but that being just me being funny about that. I can see that.
but but going back, Doc, to what you were mentioning about white hat hackers, the company that in my day job in our security division, they actually have what is basically war games between different teams to keep their skills sharp. Basically, they will split up. One team will try to infiltrate the system, and the other one will try to block them. So this means they're keeping their skills up to date. They're potentially looking at potential vulnerabilities that could be out there and documenting that and posting their results. So even for like contractors, or I know if some folks in our security division, they are former former veterans, and they will actually document all of that stuff. And I got a chance to witness one of those war games actually being played, and it's really, really interesting to watch.
That would be interesting to watch. I would love to come across that and just kind of see what happens. Who knows? My future daughter-in-law, she works in network security. I might get that opportunity one day soon. That being said, awesome, very great. Now, guys, before when we go offline, if you want to hang out and just chat for a moment, you're more than welcome to do so. But I'm going to start wrapping this show up. Everyone, GS currently is live, and Katie said it's going live. Highly recommend either one of them. Go to whichever one you want to watch. But Nerd Girl, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Yeah, just check out my channel, Nerd Girl Jen's World. I keep updated on the community post. There's two official social medias that I have. One is my community page on YouTube, and the other one you can check out on Blue Sky at This Is Planet Nerd, nerd with 2 R's.
Okay, and thank you very much. And Fraud Watch, you have anything you want to plug?
No, not tonight. I am working on a response. I've been accused in a recent live of writing a rather nasty letter, so I'm now working on a response to that.
Hang out if you can afterwards, because I'm going to ask you. Because I did not hear about this one, so I'm going to ask you what that was about. So.
Yeah, okay. Watch. I think I know what that letter is, so I'll hang out too.
Yeah, me
Okay.
too.
Yeah. So hang tight for a couple minutes afterwards. David, anything you like to plug?
Let's all treat each other with love and respect.
Okay. So let me turn on my outro music. Turn the volume so everyone can hear me. I'd like to thank Nerd Girls Jen's World for being here. Her expertise in this subject matter was great, and I enjoy having her on as a panelist. And I hope that she comes back and visits us again. And of course, okay, and the door is open for you. We will talk about that a little bit more after the show. Water Watch, thank you for coming, man. I know it's late. Early your location, so thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you. And David, as always, is here. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And to all those in the chat, thank you for being here. Mr. Mimsy, I did not say hi to you. I apologize. Hey, and thank you for coming. Katie said thank you. Watch, great work today. Thank you for all your help. I appreciate it. Until next time, take care of yourself.